Pro tip, there's a shortcut on your keyboard to skip YouTube ads. It's Alt F4. Oh, buddy. Oh no, he's gone. Oh, Chaos Arc, he just ran down to the yellow health guy, shot a breach loading grenade launcher, killed himself, and I saw everything. And then he ran back and killed him. He thought nobody saw it, nothing to be embarrassed about, but I saw everything. That was. Anyways, welcome to the Xur video. That was actually great. Yeah, Xur video. August 13th, 2021. Let's do it. You can find the Xur in his regular spot on the EDZ. Just head over to the Winding Cove, make your way on top of this little mountain here. This is actually where I'm standing. I don't know why there's no marker. And he's right here at the edge of the cliff. There's a big ass sword right through the center of his neck. Yeah, that's an oof. This is a high overview of the oof today. I mean, other than that. First and foremost, the weapon, Prometheus Lens. Outside of the glitch and the incredible ornaments that this thing has, I've never, wow, is that a freaking line? I've never really found a great use for this weapon. It acts as just a slightly higher damage auto rifle, which can be used in Crucible, although I think the Cold Heart and the Wave Splitter are much better in Crucible, and it doesn't really have that great of an effect as far as stopping power goes. You definitely want something like a shotgun, or some fusion rifle, or something with a bit more oomph in certain scenarios, and this one doesn't really do that much. It's kind of just like, it's a fodder weapon, and you don't really need specials for fodder weapons. And it also makes a big ball at the end of your shot the longer you hold the trigger down. It's supposed to damage enemies, but that ball doesn't really do nearly as much damage as the actual shot itself, so that ball is not really have any importance. And again, I just don't know when I'd want to use it. It's cool, I like the idea of trace rifles, but I don't know where they would place anywhere. Up next for the Titan exotic, we have the Graviton Forfeit. One of my favorite looking exotics in the game. Back in D1, it literally just gave you a dodge roll, which obviously all hunters now have dodge rolls built in their subclass, and this one just increases the duration of invisibilities, and it increases all the invisibility stuff, including Rat King, including the Smoke Bomb, including the dodge, and your melee recharges faster while you're invisible, so you're encouraged to do Pathfinder so you can get more melee energy for your Smoke Bomb invisibility. The problem is, I find myself just getting bored because you're in invisibility for like twice as long, and you want to be in there longer because you want your melee energy, but then I get bored and I put myself out early. In my opinion, Six Coyote and Omnioculus are just better at the invisibility stuff, and this is kind of like, maybe like a B tier exotic. As far as the stats go, total stats of 66 is pretty high. In this particular exotic, you'd like to see mobility, recovery, and strength, and well, it has most of those, and total stats of 66 is pretty freaking good, so pretty good roll on this. Up next after that, we have the Titan exotic known as the Synthoceps, or as many of you may recently know, the 1 Mile Punch. If you haven't seen that video about Titan exotic slogans, go check it out. I released it yesterday. I had a lot of fun with it. In case you haven't heard of it, it increases melee lunge range, which I'm pretty sure this is about the same melee lunge range as the Warlock plus Ophidius Spaith, but it's also the melee speed of the Titan. And on top of that, increases your melee and super damage when you're surrounded, 50% plus depending on how surrounded you are. And with this, the Ballistic Slam, which is part of the missile subclass melee attack, actually one-shots if there's 2 enemies next to you when you hit the ground, which is really strong. On the PvE side of things, which is actually useful for PvE, having more super damage is also really useful. If you don't have something like Doomfang Pulsions, for example, this is a great alternative. The total stats are not the best, however, high mobility, high intellect is always nice to have, and intellect does synergize well with the PvE side of things. And of course, recovery you can balance out or compensate with other exotics. So not a bad roll, it's a pretty decent roll, although the total stats is a bit low. It may not matter depending on what you have. And finally, for the Warlock exotic, we have the Vesper of Radius, and this ornament makes it look much better in my opinion. Now this is one of those almost base game exotics that in my opinion definitely needs an update. Basically, when your Rift is cast, an Arc Shockwave explodes around you and the Rift energy recharges faster when you're surrounded by enemies. It used to be if you're like around like 3 or 4 enemies, you could get your Rift back every like 5 to 10 seconds. So it's something that you can get your Rifts back very, very quickly with. However, having your Rift that often is not usually the best. And on top of that, Attunement of Grace makes it so if you heal your allies, you can get your Rift at 100% uptime anyways. So there are ways around it, and not a lot of applications that really make a big difference with this exotic. However, this is one of the more effective and consistent ways to get your Rift back if that's something that's really important to you. As far as the role goes, definitely want a lot of recovery for the Rift regeneration, and the rest is really up to you. So Discipline, always nice to see on Warlocks. Low mobility is nice to see if you want to do acre stuff, and then I guess the rest is really up to you. Total stats at 63 is alright, and yeah. Outside of that, make sure you're picking up your exotic cipher quests. If you don't know, every single week, oh hey, you can pick up an exotic cipher quest, doing Crucible, Gambit, Strikes, or whatever. You can get an exotic cipher, which can then be used on the exotic engram here or the exotic archive, which I would recommend an exotic archive first. I happen to have everything in the exotic archive, so I'm gonna get my exotic engram whenever I get that. My god, boots of assembler. Oh, and there it goes. And that is going to be pretty much the end of it. Of course, make sure you come check out my live streams that I have on twitch.tv right after these videos, as well as all the times on screen right now. Obviously, we're not going to be playing as much Destiny as we have been in the past because the season's almost over. We're going to be playing some other fun games as well. Link in the description down below. Whee! Can I get on top? Oh! And of course, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Specifically, a big thank you to Matty Buju, Mom and Dad, Dr. Strange, Joe Smith, my Nixie Bachmetz, Raymond Shonin, New Panther, Casey Reagan for their support on Patreon. And that's it. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name's Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.